Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up, guys? We are back. This is UFC Saudi Arabia. I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus. I'm here with Dre V, Key 3 Picks. We're going to break down the full card for you guys. It's going to be a good morning for us in the desert. Anyone on the East Coast time, I think there's money to be made. I think the matchups are actually closer than some of the lines are telling you. And we're going to go through that, get you guys paid, and we're all going to have a good time watching, right? That's the game plan. Anyone disagree?
Nah.
Okay, perfect. Let's go into our first fight then. First fight of the night. It is going to be 1 second here. How the fuck did I do that? It's been 2 weeks since we've done this. I can't even remember how to do this shit. All right. First fight of the might be my first name mess up of the year. Hamdy Abdelwahab or Wahab versus Jamal Pogues. Hamdy is 32. He's 6'2", 73-inch reach. Jamal Pogues is 29, 6'3", 77-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen right now, I'm pretty sure it's a straight pick 'em across all books. It is. It's like 100 minus 110 apiece. Drav, we'll have you go first here. I mean, Wahhabi's coming off of a Hamdy is coming off of a steroids bust. He obviously had a decent performance coming into the UFC. He's a good wrestler. He's got that whole Egyptian gold medalist 6 times, whatever it is. So everyone's making that a big thing. But if Jamal can keep this standing, I think this is a fight. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a fight I went back and forth on. To be honest, I don't have the strongest read on it, but I kind of lean Hamdy to get it done. But yeah, this is tough because 2.5 years playoff, PED suspensions and all that stuff, And at the end of the day, the way I see this fight playing out is I think Pogues the better striker. He's more technical. He has good jab, better cardio. He's the younger guy and just more active recently. We know what to expect with this guy coming in. What I don't like is, when he's getting taken down, he doesn't look the best off his back, and he doesn't really have good get-up game. And I think that Hamdy can potentially take him down early with the wrestling and everything. Even though Pogues has good takedown defense, I think Hamdy can take him down. But I don't expect Hamdy to be able to take him down as the fight goes on when he gets tired, because I think after like 7 to 8 minutes, he's going to slow down. I think that's where Pogues going to take over. But I do think Hamdy's going to win the first round. I think he's live to crack Pogues. I think he's going to be the one pressuring. He's going to put Pogues on the back foot. He's going to hit harder, be more dangerous. And we're going to see, a moment fight versus a moment winner versus a minute winner. The moment winner being Hamdy and the minute winner being Pogues. So I just don't like that Pogues doesn't really have much finishing upside at heavyweight. He used to be like heavyweight. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the guy, but he's technical and he looks to be locked in on Instagram. He iron nutritionist. So we'll see what happens. I kind of think it's going to go the distance. And I think Hamdy is going to hedge it. The fight being at these in Saudi Arabia is probably better for him. Maybe he's better and maybe he's back on the sauce. We don't really know, right? But yeah, I think Hamdy's going to win a decision here.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you. I like Jamal Pogues here. I think early on, Hamdy's going to have success. Later on, I don't think he'll have as much. I think if Pogues can actually keep this fight standing, I think it'll be like he's going to be a slight favorite there, just because I think Hamdy, although he's got like heavy hands and swings heavy, he's always looking for takedowns. And if Jamal Pogues can stop the takedowns or not get taken down, it's a whole different fight on the feet. The boxing, the jab of Pogues looked a lot better last fight. I was relatively impressed with that. And I don't know. I feel like in a pick 'em fight, Jamal Pogues is also a younger fighter. Everyone's relying on Hamdy and everything like that because of, the Middle East and stuff like that. I don't know how I feel about that, because a lot of these judges are could go questionable, but I'm not going to bet. I wouldn't put any of my hard-earned money on it, but I think I'm going to ride with Jamal Pogues to get the win here. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I went into tape wanting to get to a Pogues, but he just doesn't win enough moments in this matchup. I think that Hamdy is the moment winner, as Job mentioned earlier. I don't think that he's going to wet blanket him for 15 minutes, but at the same time, I also don't think that Pogues it only takes one big slam or one big takedown or one big moment for Hamdy to swing the round. even after getting his face jabbed off for 2.5 minutes that round. So I think that Pogues could be a better fighter. I wish Pogues had real power, but he just doesn't have power at heavyweight. I know that this isn't his true weight class, so to speak. He just sort of ballooned up and ended up fighting at heavyweight because the talent level's so low. But yeah, I like Rob mentioned, his get up game isn't elite or good. I think that Hamdy probably gets it done, but again, this is a nasty fight to touch, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Sloppy heavyweight fight. Those are usually my favorite, but not here. Can't get down this one. All right. Next fight is Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. Bogdan Grad is 14-2. He's 29, 5'8", 70-inch reach. Lucas Alexander is 8-4, 29, 5'11", 73-inch reach. Holy shit. I didn't realize Lucas Alexander's that young. Feels like he's a lot older. Looking at the odds right now, Bogdan Grad plus 100 to minus 105. Lucas Alexander anywhere from minus 120 to minus 130. Key, I'll have you go first. I got real quick. We'll do the comments. Champs, thanks for joining us. I kind of agree. It's going to be a tough pick. I wouldn't bet any money on it. Yeah, we know. Key is a big Chandler fan. He was rooting for him against Charles Oliveira. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. It was nuts. But yeah, back to this fight. Bogdan Grad and Lucas Alexander. I don't know. Looking at this fight, we know Bogdan Grad, relentless pressure, tries to get grappling going, very hittable. Lucas Alexander, really good counter puncher. Key, does Lucas Alexander find the shot, or does Bogdan Grad pressure win him this fight?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure. I taped this kind of late, so I ended up not getting I know people call it like plus 170, plus 160 on Alexander. I think those are great lines.
Crazy odds.
I think that Bogdan is super hittable, as Peg mentioned already. But I texted Drop even while doing the tape. I was like, he kind of has this like sped DDP vibe going on. So he's just taking shots sometimes. Like there's not a real process other than just like go in and throw something. And I do think that Alexander could pick him apart in a lot of different ways. But at the same time, Alexander just did not throw enough volume for my liking. I thought that the Steven Petersen fight was kind of a red flag to me. And I know that on paper and like that looked like a good performance and like the speed advantage was so wide. But in my opinion, that was a fight that I think you got to finish that one. If you have that wide of a speed advantage, you can pick your shots that well. I think you got to put on the volume a little bit more. I would have liked to see him finish. I'm unsure how he's going to deal with Grad's chaos because he's just going to go forward. He's going to mix in a little bit of wrestling, and he doesn't have great wrestling. But he's going to mix it in. He's just going to make it an ugly fight. And I don't think that Alexander's somebody that's going to thrive in an ugly fight. So Alexander is, just, as Peg mentioned, a solid counter puncher. But again, I didn't like the lack of volume. Even whenever he obviously had advantages, just the lack of volume was a red flag for me. So I didn't touch this fight. I can't blame any better with Alexander at plus money regardless. But there's a coin flip to me.
Rob, what are you thinking here?
I like Alexander here. Yeah, so he mentioned the Petersen fight, right? I kind of disagree. I think it was a good look. I think he looked very good in that fight. And looking back into it, I was thinking the same, like, why didn't he finish him? Because he hurt him in that fight, and he had some opportunity to finish. And he doesn't have the best finishing instinct, so I don't like that. But looking back into it, I mean, Petersen, he has 30 pro fights, only been finished one time, and it was in 2013. So the guy is super tough, and he's hard to finish. So, yeah, he almost finished him, but he didn't, But I still think he looked very good. He's the type of striker that I think he liked, like the way he strike, the way he move. He's super technical. He's very fast. He uses kicks very well. And, looking back into the Grad versus Aswell fight, Aswell's more of a boxer. It was very close. They went to war. But the difference is that, first of all, I'm not sure Grad won that fight, right? I think that Aswell probably won that fight watching it back, but it was a banger.
Aswell won that fight.
What you said?
I thought Aswell won the fight, definitely.
I thought he did. It was very close, but I thought he did. But yeah, what I didn't like about Grad is like the guy doesn't move his head. He has no head movement. And
Look what Tom Nolan did to him, bro.
And I mean, Aswell was just landing punches. He was not kicking. He was not, going to the legs. He was only punching down the pipe, and he was landing whatever he wants. Difference here is I think Alexander's going to move more. I think he's going to be harder to hit than Aswell was. And I also think that the fight being in the big cage is a big advantage for him here. And yeah, the kick's going to be money. The body kick's going to be there. The way Grad fight, his body's wide open. So Alexander's going to have success with that. Also believe that he's going to destroy his legs. And yeah, I think he's just going to destroy the guy at distance. Now I have some concerns because obviously Grad's going to pressure and he has power and he could potentially knock him out. But it's the type of fight where I think he's gonna need to catch him to win. And in the big cage, I believe it's going to be tough. I know Jeka Sergei catch Alexander. It's not a good look, right? He was minus 500 to win that fight and he got caught. But I mean, the guy was looking very crisp. He got caught, and the way he got caught, man, it was kind of bad timing. Like he fell off after a kick. Then he got back up, and Jeka was just sprinting at him, and he caught him with a big punch. And when Jeka wins fight, he has big power, and that's going to be by knockout more often than not, right? Because looking on the other tapes of Alexander, yeah, he got subbed in the past, but like I don't really think he has a terrible chin. He just got caught at the time that he was not expecting by a big punch. So it could happen here, but he's going to be aware of it. He just got caught in that fight. That happened, but he's also taller, longer. And yeah, I just think overall he's a better striker. I don't really give much of a grappling pat to Grad. I don't really rate his wrestling. So yeah, more often than not, I believe that Alexander is just a sharper striker in a mostly striking match, and he's taller, longer, more technical. And I believe it's going to be hard for Grad to get in the inside and do what he normally does. So he's super hittable. Wouldn't be surprised if Alexander hurt him at some point, but I think Alexander's going to win a decision in that spot. So any plus money was good for me. I think he should be a slight favorite.
I still think this price is fair, honestly. I may get across that bet too. I think Alexander, he's the more well-rounded fighter personally. Bogdan's tough, very hittable, no head movement, like you said. He can just press the gas the whole time with combos. It could be something different, but at the end of the day, I feel like part of me was kind of looking at an under start just because I feel like one's hittable. Both guys can find a way out. Both guys have hitting power, but
do you really think that like Alexander, do you like how do you rate his KO upside here? Because I mean, like on regionals, some of the issues that he's a guy that obviously like he looks like he would look great on pads. Like he's a very crisp striker. But his finishing sequences are like Cyril Gahn level of like trying to feel like it's terrible. Like
he hurts you and then he stops. He hurts you and stops. I don't get.
Yeah, he's just staring at you. And even on regionals, he was going against complete cans. And he has 3 knockouts on his record. One's a ref stoppage, one's an injury, and then one was a TKO. And that was ugly. Like it wasn't a clean finish at all.
I kind of also thought that Bogdan, like if it came down to like if Lucas Alexander did get the takedowns, Bogdan plays off his back a little bit too. I think he's comfortable there. So I kind of question that a little bit.
He does. And to answer the KO point, I don't really see it either. But the thing I'll say is like Grad is right there to be cracked and he doesn't move his head. So Alexander's gonna land clean and whatever he wants, I feel like. So because of that, I think he does have more KO upside than some of his other fights. Just because of the way Grad fight, I think it might cause some chaos. But like I said, I don't really like his finishing instinct, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it to Lucas Alexander. If I get a minus 110 line, maybe I'll play it for like a unit or something like that, or to win a unit. Just because I think he's a side here. I think this is a big step up for Grad as well, or a relatively step up for Grad. But yeah. Move on to our next fight. Key, you're going to be going first. It's the first women's fight in Saudi Arabia. Fun fact. I also saw a stat that Mayra Bueno Silva, MBS, has the same initials as the king of Saudi Arabia or the prince. I think his name is Mohammed.
Don't listen to that bullshit, Peg.
Yeah, it's a narrative. I know. But either way, it's Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Jasmine is 12-3. She's 35, 5'7", 68-inch reach. Mayra Bueno Silva, 33, 5'6", 65.5-inch reach. Line on these two ladies, Jasmine is a massive favorite. She is minus 270. Mayra Silva is anywhere from plus 225 to plus 230. Key, I gonna say, I guess, high-level girls fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this classifies as high level. I mean, MBS is a former title challenger. I don't think that Jasmine will ever contend for a title truly, but I mean, she's made a good showing of her UFC career, and much better than I think that she's outperformed what her expectations were, in my opinion. But I mean, Jasmine is a hard worker. The last performance against Lipsky was a great look, and to actually get the finish there. The Fatima Klein, I think people are starting to realize more and more how good Fatima Klein actually is. So that's a win that's going to continue to age well. MBS dropping back down to 125. I found it I think that this is a matchup that it won't necessarily benefit her the most here, just because Jasmine's super strong. And we know that Jasmine's top game is decent. And now she's actually starting to find some finishes too. I don't think that she's going to find a finish versus MBS, but I do think that she has some top time upside just due to the fact that MBS is going to play off of her back. And one of the lowest IQ fighters. I know we're coming off the Bryce Mitchell debacle today, but MBS is definitely one of the more lower IQ fighters in the cage. Just a bad decision maker overall. She gets away with it because her traits are so crazy. She has elite BJJ and crafty BJJ at that. And she hits like a truck. And I think that people tend to forget that just due to the fact that she gets so many subs, but she hits like a truck. And that was at 135 too, I believe, that I saw a lot of her power. And coming back down to 125, I think they'll continue to pop. But I do think that Jasmine ends up winning here. I think there's potential value on MBS here, but it's just one of those bets where I don't want to be sitting at my TV watching my plus 200 ticket just like fade away.
Just melt in your hands like a snowman.
Exactly. As she just hunts for subs off of her back. And Jasmine, I don't think is going to get subbed here. I could see it potentially if Jasmine got rocked in a club and sub type of situation. I could see that catching a front choke on a bad weak shot or something. But outside of that, I'm not really sure. I don't see MBS subbing her off of her back. On the feet, both of them have negative head movement. You're not going to get a boxing clinic out of either of them. But they both have good chins. But
Jasmine did her camp in Thailand, by the way, too.
Yeah, and MBS is with the Fighting Nerds. I think I mentioned that earlier.
Really?
I think that this is good for both of them. Good to get out and get out some different training. MBS isn't getting the ATT steroids anymore, so that's something to monitor. But I think that this is a great fight, great first fight to have in Saudi Arabia for the women. Pick is Jazz. I think there's some cool MBS props potentially. I don't think the MBS gets finished in round 3. I see people taking a lot of Jazz round 3 shots. I think that that's probably going to end up being a donation. But yeah, this is a good fight. I'm excited to just watch.
I agree. It's relatively chalky, but Jazz by decision is probably free, in my opinion. I think it's anywhere from minus 150 to minus 200, most books. This is going to be a tough test for Jazz. Don't get me wrong. This is probably the biggest step up she's had so far. But like we said, Jazz's wrestling in top time and top control is way better than most people say it is. I think Mayra's going to probably try and get subs off her back as usual. I don't think she'll get them. She won't have success. She'll just get ground and pounded. I don't think she gets finished either. So I think Jazz is probably just going to win a decision. What is the over on this fight? Minus 3. Okay, there's no value there. I don't know. Jazz by decision minus am I out here playing it? No. I guess if you want to play Bueno Silva, I guess submission would be the best way to play her. I think it is it's plus 700 on DraftKings. Everywhere else is plus 400. So 300 points worth of value there if you want to take it. But that's kind of my take on that. Dan, appreciate you joining us, man. Drow, what do you think for this girls' fight?
Yeah, hard to say, man. Really, a case can be made on both sides, and one of these girls plus 220. So I'll make a case for the dog here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's going to win the first round or look pretty good in the first round. Jasmine's very hittable, and like he said, MBS hit like a truck, I have concerns about her cardio and her moving down the weight class, but the move to Fighting Nerds tell me that she's probably taking it seriously. And they're always game planning pretty well for these fights. Watch a lot of tapes, so they're gonna know that Jasmine is super hittable and MBS can use her power as a weapon, right? MBS is very hittable herself, but it's not like Jasmine's gonna make her pay for that. And MBS, when she wins, it's often in the first round, either by sub or hurting girls or winning the first round. She always has moment early, right? Almost all of her fights. So the way I look into this one is like when they're gonna strike together, one of these girls gonna hit harder and have a lot of moments, and the other girl's gonna win some minutes maybe with the striking. Jasmine's not a bad striker. She went to Thailand. She look in great shape, but at the end of the day, MBS gonna be landing the bigger shot, and she's gonna have no problem landing them. And she also goes to the body pretty well, which might be a good weapon here against Jazz. And then Jazz is going to try to wrestle. We know that. Very good wrestler, good top game. But when she's going to try to wrestle, she's going to need to be careful because MBS ninja choke her nasty or guillotines. Even when she's on the ground, she has good arm bar, good knee bars. She goes for a lot of subs, right? So she's going to put Jasmine in danger, especially early when they're both fresh. So I really think there's a good chance that MBS will win the first round. And then after that, I have some concerns, right? Because I think as the fight goes on with the weight cut and everything, and the third round, Jasmine's probably going to take over. She has very good cardio, so I expect her to look better in round 3. But the type of fight that, to me, if it go the distance, it's going to be like MBS winning the first and Jasmine winning the third, and it's going to depend on round 2. And yeah, like you said, I'm not in love with taking a shot here just because I could see Jasmine just grinding top time and MBS doing nothing to try to stand back up. But at the same time, I could also see her snatching Jasmine neck early and finishing the fight. I think she's more likely to finish, more likely to have big moments. And she's one of the best finishers Jasmine has fought recently. So yeah, and she fought not the much better competition, but she's her former title challenger, right? So yeah, and Fighting Nerds fighters are not plus 220. We don't really see that often. So I know it's her first camp at that gym, but I think it's going to work well for her. Not sure who will win this fight. Like I said, I think it's probably going to be close. I think Jasmine should probably be around minus 150 because of cardio and top time upside. But MBS sub 1, I played in a big Lambo parlay I posted on Twitter. Think her finishing upside is a sub 1 more often than not, and it's a big price. So I think a sprinkle on that is not bad. MBS finish only is not bad either. If you like the Jasmine side, Jasmine round 3 decision could be also decent. So as far as the pick goes, gun to my head, I'll pick Jazz. But as far as betting goes, I think MBS is the side.
But MBS plus 3.5 is minus 140. If you really think she's gonna win, I don't think that's too much chalk. But if you think she wins round 1, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, me either. I already gave out my spread of the week, and it's coming up soon. Next fight: Terrance McKinney versus Damir Hadžović. Terrance McKinney, 15-7, 30, 5'10", 73.5-inch reach. Damir Hadžović is 14-7. He's 38, 5'9", 70-inch reach. This is a clear setup spot for the UFC. They're trying to get Terrance McKinney to win. He's the biggest favorite on the card, anywhere from minus 500 to minus 650. Hadžović anywhere from plus 450 to plus 375. Drav, unders, probably good here. McKinney, sub 1, sub 2, seem fair to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll make it super simple. Every time McKinney fight, I always have a lot of money on the 1.5. It's always like minus 2xx, minus 300 sometimes, but it's always hitting. Maybe sometimes it can not hit, but I think every of his UFC fight wins on the 1.5 rounds. Win or lose, he's kill or be killed. That's his style. In that fight, right, I think Damir takedown defense is awful. His get-up game is non-existent. His grappling is not good. He's 38, coming back after a 2+ year layoff against a good wrestler in McKinney that's going to take him down early and going to take the back and then probably submit him pretty easily. On the feet, I guess Damir could potentially crack him if McKinney decided to stand and bang, but it will be pretty dumb, especially after coming back a brutal knockout loss. I think he's going to wrestle here. He also switched camp. He's now at Fusion XL. Jim knows for the grappling, and yeah, I expect him to use the grappling early and often, and probably get the choke early. Under 1.5, use that in your parlays. It's a good parlay piece, one of the best total parlay piece in the week. So I give that one free. I give that one out for free. And then also, just to know, there's 3 fighters from Fusion XL on that card. We have Terrance McKinney, who moved there from his last camp. And then we have Lucas Alexander. They both trained together at the same camp, fighting on that card. So yeah, going to be interesting. But McKinney sub 1 for me.
Okay. P, what are you thinking?
Yeah, McKinney sub 1. I mean, the UFC is doing everything they can to get this guy some wins and keep him around. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, he's a fun fighter. Win or lose, you're getting an exciting fight. So I respect the hustle.
Yeah, like I said, McKinney sub 1, sub 2 seems pretty fair. That's pretty much it. We'll go through comments real quick. Let's see. This was Jasmine. Glenn, thanks for joining us. What's happening, brother? All right, let's move on to the next fight here. Next fight is Shamil Gaziev versus Thomas Petersen. Sorry about that. Shamil Gaziev, 13-1, 34, 6'4", 78.5-inch reach. Thomas Petersen, 9-2, 29, 6'1", 74-inch reach. Odds of these two gentlemen, Gaziev is anywhere from -300 to -350. Thomas Petersen's anywhere from +270 to +240. I'll go first just because I have a take on this one. Looking at this fight, I took the spread on Thomas Petersen, +115 for +5.5 on DraftKings. I think that's way too wide and big for a fight like this. I mean, this is a Shamil Gaziev podcast. We were on him against Martin Badeau. I personally was against him.
But
whatever. Badai, whatever his name is. I was against him on Yair Rozenstruik. I was on an island there, but hey, paid off.
Against who? Yair Rozenstruik.
Jairzinho Rozenstruik, sorry. But either way, that +5.5 is the bet of the card, easily. Thomas Petersen, his striking's getting better each fight we watch him. He has a American wrestling background. We know he gets good takedowns. We know he's got good cardio, and we know he could take a punch. So all those 3 things combined, if there's anyone that's going to push a pace, it's going to be Thomas Petersen. Shamil Gaziev, I mean, you could just go on clips of him running headfirst into cages, him shooting shitty takedowns, him punching looks okay. He gets tired. He slows down. Thomas Petersen could probably push a pace to get Shamil Gaziev tired. At plus, I think the over is definitely a good bet on this fight. I think it goes the distance. I don't see either guy really finding a finish here. And +5.5 on the underdog at plus odds seems way too wide and way too fair for a guy who doesn't really get finished. What do you think, Drav?
I actually think Gaziev is one of the safe EV or OV on the card. Don't really see Petersen winning this. He might win around if they go the distance. I don't mind that look on the spread. But yeah, I think Gaziev's gonna be on his ass early. Like, pause. But yeah, I just think he's the way better striker, and he hit way harder than Petersen. So early in the fight, I think he's gonna have big finishing upside by KO. But then as the fight extends, like you said, he gas out. Petersen's probably gonna be there if he doesn't get finished early, and he definitely has a chance to look good in round 3. But overall, I'm not so sure he's going to have an easy time wrestling against Gaziev. And then if he doesn't, he's not going to be the better striker or the biggest hitter. So he might be in some danger. And you said his striking is improving. I mean, I don't really rate his striking. His defense is not good. And Gaziev's going to land pretty much what he wants here. So, yeah, I think he's one of the safe chalk on the card personally. Decision or KO, I'm not so sure, but my take is that if he doesn't get a knockout in the first round, the fight's going to go all 15 minutes. That's the way I see it.
Yep, I think the over is fair. Close fight, close decision. Drav, what are you thinking?
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind the Petersen dog shot here. Gaziev is just sort of like, I mean, it'll give you a good first round. Both guys are just sort of mid to me. Gaziev versus Boudet was a great bet. I really don't have interest in this fight that much from an entertainment standpoint either. But yeah, I mean, I hope anybody that has the nuts to back Petersen, I hope they can get it done for him. But I'm not parlaying Gaziev or anything here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, no one wants to take the shot on the spread on with me. I get it, bro. Let's go through comments real quick. Took 5 plus 5.5 like an hour ago. That's my boy. MMA Maestro, Yair Rozenstruik. Yeah, I like that one. Terrance minus 500 is that degenerate. Why don't you play the under at better odds?
Yeah, we might need to call the number.
Yeah, I think under at a better odds is probably the better play there. Shamil decision. Thompson's feeling somewhat durable. Possible round 3 sprinkle on Petersen. I agree. What are the others?
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Then I agree. Boutte. Yeah, he is.
Oh.
You're a pussy idiot. Who is he talking? I'm confused who he's talking about.
He's talking to you.
To me?
No, I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah, no. Shamil money line is nasty works. Take Thompson spread plus 5.5. I'm telling you, bro. Petersen spread. Jesus Christ, this is gonna be a long night. All right, next fight on the card. This is just so unprofessional. It's unbelievable.
This is the main card, right?
Is this the main card? Yes, the first fight. All right. So before we start the main card, Drav has a huge announcement to make for us. You know, obviously he's one of our co-hosts here. He's been here for a while. We'd say he's relatively sharp. I'm not sure if we can call him the sharpest, but he's relatively sharp. So go ahead, Drav. What's your announcement for the group we have here?
Yeah, thanks, bro. So yeah, I wanted to make the announcement on live here with you guys first before posting it on Twitter. But I've decided to leave Dub Club. Grateful for the work I've done with them last year. They were pretty cool with me, but decided to join a new platform. You guys probably, I might give you guys $1,000 this week if my Lambo parlay hit. You know, I posted on Twitter if you want to tell it. But so I decided to leave Dub Club to join a new platform. It's named oddsshopper.com. I'm going to link in the bio so you guys can just click on it, but it's oddsshopper.com. It's not new, but they're not as known in the industry as Dub Club are, especially for MMA. They are known for other sports, but they want to be bigger for MMA. So I think it's a good platform, and it might be the next big thing. And the reasons are there's a couple of different things that I love on this one that doesn't have on Dub Club, right? So if you go on the Odd Shoppers account, you make an account for free on it. On the website, you're gonna have some tools that's gonna just help you do some bets yourself, right? Without subscribing to anybody. So you have like a odd screen, which is pretty nice for, you can use it for your region, where you're from, and it's going to be updating in real time for the sport you want. So you can be on either every sports. You also have a parlay builder section that's going to help you calculate your odds if you're trying to build parlay or something. If you want to, calculate some arbitrage, some edge and everything. They have like a lot of different things for that to help you make money betting your own stuff. And then you have a free bet section, which is like the same as when you're scrolling on Twitter. Like you're going to see a lot of people posting free bets, people that are certified cappers on the Odd Shopper. If they can post bets, they're going to post free bets for a lot of sports. You can choose the sport that you want, and you're going to have some free bets by a lot of these people. They post like, I think, maybe 10 plus bets per day I saw. So if you're like subscribed to me, you're still going to be able to click on the free pick section, and you're going to have free bets on other sports by other sharp guys, which I think is pretty cool. So then on my Odd Shoppers account, difference is that's basically the same as what I'm going to do with Dub Club, right? But what I decided to do is I decided to lower my price. It's going to be only $25 a month for my Odd Shopper, and you're going to have like obviously all my bets, all my breakdowns, And what I do is I do full card breakdowns for every UFC card without any exception. And I do my betting leans for each fight. So you can use my analysis and my tape study to just make your own bets if you want. So even the fight I don't have a bet on officially, I'm going to tell you the pick I have for the fight and the betting lean that I'm leaning, even though I'm not betting it officially. And you're still going to have my full breakdown on each fight. So it can just help you make your bet. And so only $25 a month, oddshopper.com. And like I said, the link's going to be in the bio. So a new start for me. It's going to be everything's going to be ready to use probably tomorrow. I'll make a post on Twitter also if you want to follow there, Drake_. So yeah, we can move on and continue with this card.
All right, thanks for taking up our time, guys. Follow Drav. He'll make you money. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What's up? Fight Talk. What's happening, brother?
Yeah, I also recap my stuff, right? I'm like on Twitter, I've been posting everything for like 3 years now. And, the last 2 years, I won over 150 units. So everything's posted on Twitter, track on Bet MMA. My Bet MMA, it's not 2 years old, but it's a year and a half or a year and 8 months or something.
Right. Bet MMA really isn't the end of the world. It's an antiquated system and a bad app. It doesn't really track well. You can't track a lot of bets. But listen, we won't bad talk it because everyone swears fight like it's the Bible. Next fight, first fight of the main card, Muhammad Naimov versus Kaan Ofli, or Cayenne, as some would say. Muhammad Naimov is 11-3, 30 years old, 5'9", 70-inch reach. Ofli is 11-3-1. He's 31, 5'7", 66-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen, you get Naimov minus 350-ish. You can get Ofli anywhere from plus 275 to plus 300. Key, I mean, this is an easy Naimov spot, no?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
This is like we're shooting our first podcast right now between all three of us.
Yeah, my fault. It said it was me, but then whatever. but nah, I think that there's a Naimov spot. I don't rate Kaan that highly. I know he's coming out of City Kickboxing, did his camp there. I think Naimov figures out a way to get this done. Whether that be through cage cheating, we see that he'll do anything to win. And I love a good cheater. So I think Naimov gets it done. I'm not rushing to parlay him here or anything. I don't think either guy is very high level.
Yeah, Naimov parlay money line seems pretty fair. Seems pretty easy. Don't really see Ofli's way to win. Naimov will get it done over there. No problem. Drav, any different from you?
No, not really. Another one of I like a lot of dogs on that card, right? But Naimov is one of the guys that I think is safe chalk. Fighting at home, they let him cheat the last fight against Nathaniel Wood. It was so bad. But yeah, the guy has power. He's the better striker. He's the stronger guy here. He's going to be able to decide where the fight take place. Also, he's a good grappler, right? He's a good black belt, but I don't think he's going to have an easy time early to take Naimov down. And on the feet, he's a bit too hittable, coming back after a bad knockout loss. So I believe Naimov is going to land big shots early and potentially knock him out. He could even submit him potentially, just because he's going to be able to maybe get on top and be just the stronger dude. But Ofli, if he can push a pace and survive early, he has a chance to finish by sub late, my bad. So round 2-3 sub, probably his path to victory. I don't mind the under or just fight doesn't go the distance. Probably a good bet. If Naimov cover, he probably finish him. And yeah, Ofli Pat is probably a sub. So yeah, violence makes sense to me, but I think Naimov is one of the safe parlay piece.
All right, let's go to our next fight here. Main card for us, Ziam versus Mike Davis. This is a pretty controversial one. I think people are split kind of all over it. For us, Ziam is 16-4. He's 27, 6'1", 75-inch reach. Mike Davis, 11-2, 32, 6 feet tall, 72-inch reach. Like Drav said, another Fusion Excel fighter. Line right now, you get Davis anywhere from minus 130 to minus 140. You get Ziam anywhere from plus 125 to plus 115. Drav, we got a French baguette on this card. I'm sharing the wrong tab. Thanks for telling me, guys. I really appreciate that. So what do you think about your French baguette? Do you think he gets it done, or does Mike Davis lose a fist? Does Mike Davis lose a fist fight to a French dude? I don't see it happening. What do
I
you
don't
think?
know. I asked your boy Matt Frivola last time how it play out.
He's a bum.
Is he a bum? He was coming back after
I heard Ray Longo go, turn around, and he turns around right into a knee and gets kneed in the face, and now and he just goes, oh shit, my bad.
Yeah, I mean, Ziam looked amazing in that fight. You can say what you want about Frivola. At the end of the day, I backed Frivola in that fight. The reasons being, he's a strong wrestler, good cardio. He hit very hard, and that's why I like him pre-fight, right? I was watching Claudio Puelles, taking Ziam down a couple times, and I was like, yeah, Matt Frivola is going to be able to land takedowns and might win the fight because of that and land big shot on the feet, right? Oh boy, I was wrong. Let me tell you that, yeah, you did take him down and got a good first round. But then, I mean, Ziam is, what I've noticed is, and I've listened to a French interview for about like 15 minutes. He talked about this fight and the difference he's made since the Puelles fight. And it makes sense, right? He said that after the Puelles fight, he realized that he needed to be stronger. He wanted to be a bit bigger and to hold himself even better in the grappling, because we know that he made a lot of improvements in the grappling, right? Over the last few years, he looked way better. But then he was not strong enough, you feel like. So he's adding a new program in his training camp that he's really working on strength and and muscle and building mass and just be stronger overall. And we've seen in the Frivola fight, he looked a bit bigger to me in that fight, and he looks stronger, obviously. So that paid off for him. And at the end of the day, the guy is 27. He's like close to entering his prime now. Shout out Dan, he's proud in the chat. I think I went on his podcast for the last time Ziam fought, and he kind of, he was calling out Ziam to get his first knockout for a couple fights now. So he finally got it, and he picked Ziam in that fight as well. So I was wrong there. But again, like I said, I'm very impressed with the guy. Former T1 champion, young, tall, long for the division, very good striker. And then another thing I'll say is, like, Mike Davis is a G, man. I've watched his fight against Jasudavicius a couple times. Banger of a fight. I've watched his fight against what's his name, Mason Jones. Banger. The guy is just a fun fighter, right? The way he fights and everything. But what I've noticed is he has a big problem with leg kicks. And in the third round, sometimes it doesn't look good. His defense drops as the fight goes on. But early, when he's fresh, he's good. Good boxing, good power, pressure, decent volume. But the problem with that is, I think with Ziam, it's going to be harder for him to get to land volume on, because Ziam is so in and out, so technical, very good defensively. I think he's better defensively than Mike Davis. Mike Davis, he landed a lot, but he get hit a lot as well. And I think a big path to victory here for Ziam will be to defend the takedowns or get back up, because the way I see this fight playing out, a lot of people think that Davis is going to just wrestle fuck him or something. I don't really see it, to be honest. He might have some wrestling success, but I don't think he's just going to destroy him with the wrestling. I think if you take him down, Ziam's going to get back up, and I don't think Davis is going to submit him. I know a lot of people are on the sub. I don't really see it. But yeah, so he might have some wrestling upside again, but on the feet, I favor Ziam. I think he's more technical. He's just a slightly better striker to me. I favor his cardio. I think the leg kick's going to be there. And Mike Davis, in the Jasudavicius fight and even in other fights, he struggled with that. He doesn't really check the leg kicks, and he doesn't really fight well from the southpaw stance. So he's going to have some problems here. And Ziam with the knees up the middle, if you're trying to rush in, shoot a back takedown, you might not like it. Not like Mike Davis never been hurt before, So yeah, Ziam's younger guy. He's I think he's more into MMA also. It's some outside stuff, right? Mike Davis, a lot of injuries, a lot of layoff. You want to be a streamer, stuff like that. Just some type of shit I don't really like when I bet someone at chalk. And Ziam all in, 4-fight winning streak, like Mike Davis, but look the time frame between their last couple fights. Like, there's a big difference in there. Ziam's way more active. I think he's taking it very seriously. He looks to be locked in. He's the younger guy. Like I said, better striker to be better cardio. It's going to be a close fight. I bet Ziam plus 210. I just thought the line was crazy. I gave that out to my guys on Dub Club. I said that my first sentence of my breakdown is another close fight. Should be minus 110 to plus 120 for Ziam, but he's plus 210. And then the market agree. he's around plus 120 now. So the value's kind of gone, but I still think he's the side. I'm picking him to win outright. But yeah, so I think he's the side here, and he's going to get it done.
Yeah, Drov's wrong, and here's why. This is a once-in-a-lifetime generational bet you're going to get on Mike Davis here. We learned this with Brian Battle, right? It was me on Brian Battle, Drov on Giuseppe, and he was like, he's more technical, the striking's better, he's got this, he's got that. Listen, Key, you know this. I know this. American guys, maybe from the hood, maybe not. We don't lose fistfights to French dudes. It's very simple. That's the game plan. Brian Battle laid it out pretty well for us. Davis actually has a bigger wrestling upside. I mean, we watched Farias Ziam get wrestle banged by he's not Argentinian. He's Claudio Puelles. What is he? Ecuadorian?
Peruvian, I think. Peruvian.
So he got pervertedly wrestled by a Peruvian all fight and somehow snuck out the win. But guess what? Now he's got a big old black dude on top of him, Mike Davis. And what's going to happen there? It's going to be ground and pound, baby. It's going to be bad. So that being said, Mike Davis minus 140 seems to be the side here. Betting's a pendulum. All these sharp guys over here got plus 270. Now the pendulum's over here. Get in while you can, baby. Get in while you can. Mike Davis money line. Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, there's a lot. I think that this is a fun fight. I'm glad to see Mike Davis back pretty quickly relative to some of his other layoffs. So I have to assume he's coming in off of a good camp. It seems as such, based off his social media, his YouTube videos, and everything. It seems like everything's been good in training. And based off of some of the Instagram stories that I've seen, it doesn't seem like there's any like obvious injuries, at least. So I think from here, Ziam, I mean, if we take a look at just every fight he's been in, the Frevola performance in real time, I thought it was like the greatest performance I've ever seen in my life. On watch back, Frevola just fought like a fucking idiot. And I just have to be honest, like he's flying off for arm bars in mount. He's just making bad choice after bad choice, like nonstop. So the moments that he was having success ended up being negated by his own fight IQ. And Frevola's fallen in love with his hands in recent years. So this isn't the same Frevola that's wrestle fucking Jalen Turner or anything of that nature. I do think that that's Ziam's best win by far in his career. But then if we go down the list, Claudio Puelles, I mean, that was an awful, awful look. Couldn't defend a single leg to save his life. Slow attempts at that. And I thought that Puelles did have somewhat of an argument to even win that fight. And if he had any bit of striking, like literally anything, like if he went in there and threw anything in the world, he probably ends up stealing one of the extra rounds and wins that fight. But he just literally decided to only wrestle and grapple in that fight. Jai Herbert, it is what it is. Fig Lack, that's not a great win. We know what Terrance McKinney did. Vendramini, that's not a great win. And in round 3, he got pressed back and looked horrible. Malarkey fight, I think that he lost that personally. I think everybody did. So over the years, he's shown progression in his grappling, but at the same time, I think that he's also shown some bad IQ on the mat. I think that the Puelles fight, I thought that he made some bad decisions on the mat. And I think that he re-engages in grappling situations where there's absolutely zero need to. So I think that at times he's almost wanting to test his own grappling against some of these guys instead of just completely disengaging and staying where his actual advantage is, which is on the feet. Here in this fight, I think that Mike Davis, if he gets a back take, I think that could potentially be the round or the fight. I do think that Mike Davis is solid on top. One thing I will say, Mike Davis is like, it's not even that I need him to just come in and wrestle for a full 15 minutes. But I think that he mixes in the takedowns really, really well, like really good timing. You can tell he's a high IQ guy. Even just listening to some of him in his videos and interviews and stuff, you can tell he's a very thoughtful guy. So he definitely understands the game. And while I have concerns about some Fusion XL game planning and what they have going on period over there, at the same time, I also think that Mike Davis is definitely one of the smartest guys in that gym. I think on the feet here, Mike Davis has the power advantage. Ziam has been showing more power as of recent. And I'm not saying that just because of his knee that he had, that's a flash in the pan type of thing, but his actual punching power has shown up to be, well, a lot better in previous years. So I think that this is a good, solid fight. I think that Davis has most of the finishing upside here. Ziam has shown throughout his career that fighting on the back foot is just not, it has not worked out that well for him. So whenever you're constantly mixing up the threats, making him work and defend takedowns, forcing him to make bad decisions, he tends to fall and actually ends up falling into some of those traps. So I think that Mike Davis gets it done here. I think he's one of the more talented guys in the whole division, period. Athletically, I mean, he's a freak athlete. Even after some of these injuries, he's shown to continue to be a freak athlete. It's a shame that this guy couldn't get the clean bill of health that he needed to truly compete throughout all of his career. But it's not like he's taking a ton of damage or anything. I don't see Ziam knocking him out. I think that Ziam's clear path here is a 29-28 close argued decision. Well, I think that Mike Davis could look like a wide favorite either through grappling or hurting Ziam on the feet, cage pushing. I think that there's many different ways for Mike Davis to win this fight, and I think he has more finishing upside. So I think that Mike Davis bet is probably a solid bet here. I can't blame anybody that got Ziam at plus 200 or more. But so in this case, Peg and Drav both have a clear argument here. So I guess we'll find out who's winning in this fight. And I think that there's some cool ways to play this fight. So I'll leave it at that.
I already saw Drav hit the cash out option on his app to get out of that Ziam bet. And he heard the boys talk about it and he wasn't ready for it. So he jumped ship. That's what I'm thinking.
You call me, Peg.
All right, next fight. Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliviera, luck dog. Nurmagomedov, 18-3, 32, 5'8", 70-inch reach. Vinicius Oliviera is 29, 5'9", 70.5-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen. You can get Nurmagomedov anywhere from minus 152 to minus 170. Lock dog is anywhere from plus 132 to plus 145. I'm going to go first here. Actually, I forgot to do the comments. Let's go back to the comments real quick. Sorry about that. Before we get this started, Ziam decision, square as could be. Ofli's chin, he's going to get knocked out. Mike Sub, blood is from North African. Blood is North African. Who are we talking about? Farasham, he only reps, but he's full on. Okay, well, that's great for him. He can rep whatever he wants. I don't know why anyone would choose France, but that's besides the point. Great fight. Eileen Davis, but Ziam, I'm not looking to fade him. Trust me, you can fade him. He's French. Peruvian. Yes, sorry about that fight talk. I know you're a big Peruvian guy. Yeah, pause. I think, let's see right here. Thanks, champ. No decisions. Weird. Yeah, I think ITD plus 150 is probably the better bet there.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Ofli is not winning a decision there. Like, that's not happening. Even if he's winning, and like, I mean, they love Naimov over here. Like, it's crazy. The ref, Ofli's gonna need to be. He's gonna need to beat Naimov and the ref and the judges.
Good boy, read my comment back. Nate Brown, are you commenting anyone this week? I don't know who this guy Nate Brown is. Kind of like him though. He's kind of got an attitude. Oh no, it's Zach Attack's got the attitude. I like Nate Brown though. MMA Anomaly, he said, I like Syed here, but Lock Dog is a beast and always live for a KO. So let's get into that fight. All right, I just broke that down. All week, I've been thinking about betting Lock Dog, watching my value diminish. Why? Because of the constant pressure, because he's got good submission defense, because he's probably the harder hitter. We see Syed slow down later in fights. We know Lock Dog's always live for a KO. He's quite literally a dog, and that's an issue. But like we just talked about, you started off this week and you got you would have had to bet or pay you would have had to pay closer to minus 300 on openers and then anywhere around minus 200 for Syed Nurmagomedov. Now you're getting minus 150 on a guy who is a great fighter, one of the better subspecialists that we've had in the UFC. But now we're kind of looking at, a technician versus a wild man. And that's always scary to bet against the wild man, right? Saeed's more technical. You probably outstrike him with a jab. But like we said, we don't know what this guy – that's the issue is like you'll have a Saeed ticket. He'll be up 2-0, and then it's like, oh, fuck, he's locked in the cage with Vinicius Lockdog. And Vinicius Lockdog is just going to do everything he can to get him out of there. I don't know. I just saw this comment here about them playing ping pong. I don't know what that was about. I saw the clip of them playing ping pong together. Like Nate Diaz would say, they're playing touch putt with that dork in the park. I don't know what's good with that. You guys are fist fighting. Like I kind of agree with what Clip's saying here. Gas bag, Saeed round 3 is going to get scary if you do have a bet on him. I don't know. Like I said, I've been going back and forth all week. I'm probably not going to pick a side unless one of these two can convince me to pick a side heavily. I think they both are on the same side. If I had to guess, I don't know who they're on, but I think they got the same bet. What do you guys
think first, Bag? What you got?
So I guess in a close fight where I can't pick, I guess I'm just going to ride with Lock Dog. Why not? Be better for vibes, and he's plus odds. I guess why not? What do you guys think? Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I can go first here.
Right.
I played Look Dog at plus 225. That line it was up for days on BetOnline, DraftKings, multiple places. Some members were able to snag that line damn near everywhere. I think this fight comes down to how highly do you rate Saeed's dog and cardio? Because on the feet, Saeed will throw some nice little quick kicks and a couple punches and jabs every once in a while, but he's going to look to maintain space and sort of dance around. And I don't think that you can do that against Look Dog for 3 rounds, especially with spotty cardio. Saeed, I mean, the Gafarov fight, we can't take anything from. The Martinez fight, I don't really know who won that fight, but I can say that I don't think that Saeed looked good. The Kakramanov fight, we know that Saeed was getting absolutely melted there. And then if you go past a lot of these other fights, I mean, if you look, if these fights aren't instant ninja chokes or instant KOs, you're looking at a rough fight. I think that Scoggins, for what it worth, back in the day did beat him, and that was low-key a robbery. But I think that in this, I can't see a way that Saeed is going to look like a wide favorite here. I wish I would have put him more down on plus 225. That was, in hindsight, an absolute disgusting number. And so, but I think the Loc Dog here, really the main thing is the fact that he's going to force Saeed to back up nonstop. And I think in round 2, round 3, I think that he wins at a pretty high clip, honestly. Saeed's a big-time front runner. He does not live up to his last name, obviously, with his wrestling. And I think that he's allergic to an uglier physical fight. I think that he's only looking to throw kicks on the outside and have a pretty boy fight. And I don't think that Loc Dog is going to allow that. I think that he's the moment winner. He's going to continuously push the pace. And I think that the guy is legit. And I was not high on him. I'll be completely honest. I was not high on him. Even after the Sopaj fight, I thought that he was still not amazing. But the Ricky Simone fight was just, I mean, a fucking clinic. And his leg was dead, and he just fought through it like an absolute demon.
He's a savage.
Yeah, you don't find that type of dog and heart in a lot of fighters. So he acted like that leg just was not an issue at all, and that leg looked completely dead. So that's the type of guy I want to back at plus 225. I believe Saeed's coming in off of a 15-month layoff or so. So it's not like he's been the most active guy in the world. I know we are in Saudi Arabia, so I get it, judges, and we'll talk about some later fights that have some judge implications on them too. But at plus 225, I'm willing to eat any sort of potential judge fixing because I really do think that Loc Dog.
What do you think about the current odds? What do you think about the current odds? Because these people are going to be betting.
So you're asking for yourself. I'd say I think plus 130 isn't a bad number. I wouldn't bet it right now. I just have a little bit of regret not betting as much as I should have on plus 225. So I'm happy with that number. But like I said, round 2, round 3, I think that the shit gets sort of dark for Saeed.
What do you think, Drop?
Yeah, I just saw someone in the comments said he was winning Saeed, and now he's you reconsider, and I'll double down that. I think that Lock Dog is super live and is probably gonna win. So yeah, I didn't have as much of a good number as he got, but I got plus 185. Still very happy with it. And yeah, I like some violence in that fight. I think they're both live for a finish just because the way Lock Dog fight, TRBTL, super big, like he has insane power, but he's there to be cracked. He's not really responsible defensively. And yeah, he's just going to cause some chaos. And I think that Saeed, very good early, very good spinning back fist, very good spinning back kicks. He's super fast. Nasty front choke and ninja chokes, obviously. That's his move, the guillotine and everything. He's super slick with it. So there's a chance that he's, knock Oliviera out or submit him in the first round. That's very live. But there's also a chance that Oliviera knocked this guy out. Like this guy, sometime when fight get extended, he doesn't look good. In round 3, it's always sketchy, even back in his career, back in the day. But now, like, he's not really improving in that era. He's not fighting often. So Oliveira's better cardio of the two. I think he's more of a dog, and he probably hit harder, and he's more dangerous on the feet and the striking. And Saeed Nurmagomedov, you look at the name, right? His wrestling is overrated, right? I saw some people said that he can do what Sopash did. I mean, to some degree, I can understand why, but in the grappling, he's good. With the submission, he's good, but like his wrestling and his takedowns are not that great. He has like 20% takedown accuracy or under that. So I don't really rate his wrestling that well. He could get a takedown or two and maybe the fight, because if he catches neck early, he's probably going to choke him out. Could be a club sub as well. So I like some violence. I think there's finishing upside on both sides, but the way I see this fight is, again, similar to the MBS fight and the Jasmine fight. I think Saeed's going to win the first round. I think he's going to lose the third if we go to distance. I'm pretty confident he's going to lose the third and might even get finished in the process, right? So if they go to distance, it's going to be very close. But I think my guy has the better cardio, super dangerous in the striking, and he's going to pressure Saeed. He's going to make him uncomfortable. So I like that. And yeah, I just think it's such a good fight, though. I'm excited for it. One of the best fights in the card with Ziam and Davis also.
So if you guys have DraftKings, you can do lock dog and over 4.5 minutes in the fight and get plus 220 on that. So that means the fight goes over round 1, starts round 2, and lock dog money line for plus 200. Realistically, what do you guys think of a round 1 finish though? Like you said club and sub for Saeed Nurmagomedov. I kind of disagree. I don't think he's gonna really sub Vinicius Oliveira, to be honest.
I mean, if he submit him, it's gonna be early. I do think so. That's why in my Lambo part I got Saeed first on submission, because I think that's live, and that's probably the way he finish if he does. Do you agree with that, Keith?
Yeah, I agree. The only way that you submit him is early.
Okay. All right, let's move on to our next. Fight here. Oh, it's my boy. All right. So we are talking about Sergei Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. All right, the biggie boy, my boy. Sergei Pavlovich is 18-3. He's 32, 6'3", and 84-inch reach. Jairzinho Rozenstruik is 15-5, 36, 6'2", 78-inch reach.
Someone in the comments said, Chembet, he said, Yair Rozenstruik time.
Exactly. So I'm riding with my boy Rozenstruik here. I think this is a great fight for him. Sergei Pavlovich, outside of a first-round knockout, he's a fucking suckbag. That's all he is. He stinks. He's looking for that first round. He's a sledgehammer. The second he can't get that finish, he looks like a chump. And guess what? This is going to be a kickboxing match. Nobody's going to be wrestling. No one's going to be shooting takedowns. It's going to be a kickboxing match. And after round 1, Yair Rozenstruik is going to look great. I think it was Tai Tuivasa. Against Tai Tuivasa, I played Rozenstruik to win by decision plus 880. I gave that out. I played him plus 300 and plus 200 live. Oh, plus 300 pre, plus 200 live against Shamil. Rozenstruik, he's a good fighter. He's a kickboxer. He's getting better. His cardio's there. His volume's there. He's there all day, baby. All good with volume. Sergei, he makes it out of the first round. He's going to beat Sergei. Leg kicks are going to be there. The jab is going to be there. The key thing is just like don't get touched. You're betting on a heavyweight fight. And honestly, I didn't go over odds for these two guys. Sergei Pavlovich minus 300, Rozenstruik plus 240. I think that's pretty easy click if you want to take that. But I don't really think we see Pavlovich getting knocked out. Obviously, it's heavyweight. Anyone can get knocked out. But Sergei is relatively durable. One person to knock him out was Aspinall. So I don't really have to worry about that. If you look at Rozenstruik by KO, plus 900. There it is again. That's the bet. Yair Rozenstruik by decision, plus 900. What do you think, Trav?
Yair Rodriguez.
Yair Rozenstruik, plus 900. And now I'm going to wait till he wins. I'm going to put Rozenstruik with a fucking sombrero on his head on my page.
It's my turn to break that down after that breakdown.
Break that down. What do you think?
So how many units on Rozenstruik, Peg? How many units?
So I'm going to give me 1 unit on Rozenstruik by decision plus 900.
You know what you should do? Is you could flip all your bet MMA accounts in one night, right? You put 5 units on Biggie Boy money line, and you put 3 units on Biggie Boy by decision. Then you're gonna look like a genius when it hit, right? But yeah, to be honest, I can see where you come from. Obviously, if the fight extend, you kind of want to be on the Rozenstruik side, right? Like obviously, he does better in extended fight than Pavlovich does, but there's some narrative that I don't agree with this week. The first one being Pavlovich, is like cardio's not great. I don't agree with that. I just think that he's not very good over extended fight to win minutes. He's just a good moment winner, and he trusts his power to land the kill shot too much. Like the guy went 5 rounds on the regional a couple of times and he won, but like since he got a lot of KOs, looked like he's just trying to get the perfect shot. Didn't work out against Volkov, but to his credit, Volkov's like taller longer, and he was kind of, he had a hard time dealing with him. But Rozenstruik, the thing I don't like is he's getting back up against defense too easily in fights. Even the fights he wins, right? He's always getting back up against defense. You just don't want to do that against Pavlovich because he's too fast, too powerful. And Rozenstruik has been catched before in the first round. That's what Pavlovich does. So I just think that this fight's going to be like, if the fight ends inside a distance, I think it's going to be in the first round, right? If it doesn't end in the first round, it might go to the distance and going to be very close, and then you want to be on Rozenstruik. But as far as the pick goes, I'll go Pavlovich KO1, probably square. But I just think that's the way he wins more often than not, and the chances of him landing big and flush early against Rozenstruik that's going to accept the back foot and getting back up against the fence against Pavlovich early, I just don't think it's going to end well personally. But I can mind you taking a shot on Rozenstruik.
I also have to adjust what I said. I think I said plus 350. I meant plus 175 and plus 150. I misspoke. I don't know what I was thinking. Key, you go.
Too much beers.
Yeah, too many beers before the podcast. That's exactly what it was. What are you thinking, Key?
Yeah, no, I think this is a Pav spot. Physicality, power difference is pretty wide here. Rozenstruik, I know, will have a speed advantage, but that's in rounds 2 and round 3. I don't think that he can survive round 1 with Pav. If Pav is fighting as Pav normally fights, I hope that the 2 losses have not just shook him completely. But I think that he's going to cook here. Rozenstruik, we know, doesn't have elite durability or anything. He's been knocked out. I think that there's a difference. There's a difference with Volkov against Pav because Volkov is fucking massive. But Rozenstruik, I know his height is listed as like fucking 6'3" or something, but he's probably like 6 foot flat. Pav is going to be the much bigger guy here. I think that Pav runs through him, honestly.
Man, you guys are going to be so wrong. Yeah, this is funny. Yair Rozenstruik versus Pavlovich. Key, what's your height and weight?
6'3", 190.
Damn, you're a string bean, bro. Lots of confidence on Biggie Boy. What would you put him in a 3-way parlay? Yes, absolutely. Parlay him, parlay Lockdog, and parlay Naimov all together. I don't know what that gets you, but probably pays well.
Big payday.
I think Pavlovich goes back to his old ways and goes for the kill and finds in on Biggie Boy, but at this price tag, hell no. Easiest pass of my life. Guess what? Plus 900 by decision, Rozenstruik. Thank you, everyone. Next fight we have our co-main event of the evening. It is the one-eyed, ugly-looking Cyclops of Nurmagomedov versus MVP Michael Venom Page. Shara is 15-0, 30 years old, 6'2", 73-inch reach. Michael Venom Page, 22-3, 37, 6'3", 79-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen, you can get MVP anywhere from plus 155 to plus 165. You can get Shara Bullet anywhere from minus 180 to minus 200. I'll go first here. I'll be quick. Michael Venom Page masterclass. We watched Nurmagomedov get touched up by Bruno Silva. We watched him get touched up by Armin Petrosian. Ooh. Yeah, Armin Petrosian. Why am I getting that
name PTSD now? He's saying the name is like
yeah, Armin Petrosian. But yeah, it's Armin Petrosian. I'm right. I'm pretty sure. And
yeah,
then
Petrosian, yeah.
And then either way, he's getting touched up on the feet. We're watching this guy like I'm just gonna fucking fade this guy till I go bankrupt. It's the only way out of this poverty is to just fade this guy Shara until he dies. He's got one eye. He gets hit by other strikers. The only issue is MVP has a very wide stance. He's susceptible to leg kicks. We saw it with Douglas Lima. Everyone knows that one. Outside of that, I mean, Shara. The issue with Shara is his leg kicks are so good. He goes to the head, he goes to the body, he goes to the feet. He uses his kicks as jabs. But in this fight, we have a plus EV decision, right? Our boy, friend of the show, common guest, lucrative, comes on the podcast to talk about intangibles. Michael Venom Page is a Muslim now. He switched to Islam, and now he was like, I'm going to Saudi Arabia and fighting the pirate. I got to be Muslim for this one. Converted. Now he's running. Now he's gonna run this shit like crazy. He's probably gonna knock out Nurmagomedov. So if I were to bet it, I would bet on MVP. I have 1.5 units on MVP plus 160 or plus 155, somewhere around in that range. And I'm probably gonna play the KO too because I think he's gonna knock out Shara, upset him in his hometown. Alhamdulillah, brother. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I mean, I think converting is like as plus EV as it gets. Going to Saudi. I think that here, if people thought the MVP looked fast at 170, I think the speed difference is going to be pretty wide here. I posted MVP as my free bet of the week on Twitter. It got a mixed responses in the comments and some good arguments. But I think the Shara's only path here to like cleanly winning a decision, and barely anybody ever beats MVP cleanly. I don't care who you are. So I think the only way that he wins cleanly here, Peg, I think that's you.
Sorry, my bad.
But I think that the only way that he looks like a clean favorite here is by spamming leg kicks nonstop. And I have to imagine the MVP has a counter for that. It's going to check those leg kicks. That I think the speed difference is pretty wide. MVP forces you into sort of a cat and mouse, low volume style game where he's going to win the minutes because his blitzes are so loud and so explosive. And so I just don't think the Shara is going to have an answer. And I don't think the MVP is the guy to have one eye against. I really don't think that. I think that really does hurt here. I don't know if MVP does actually find the finish. It would be dope if he does and puts into the Shara bullet bullshit. But I really don't see outside of rigging. And I know we saw it with Fakhretdinov and Lille. Me and Drop still have PTSD with that bet.
Me too. I still got it too, bro.
So that shit can be real. But I'm willing to eat that if that's how this plays out. I'm willing to be on the right side because that's going to win long term. So I think MVP gets it done here. I could see a clean 29-28 decision. Saying that Shara maybe gets off some leg kick volume, but Shara's hands are not good. His boxing defense has never been good. That hair bouncing around, that's not good looks. I think MVP is going to end up blitzing, potentially find the KO or win a clean decision here.
Thinking. Welcome to the chat, Cody. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I also agree with you guys on that. It's a MVP podcast. We're taking the O of the guy with one, the guy with one eyes, right? Dude, like he said, I mean, I'm scared as shit. I'm not gonna lie. It's a bet I made. I love the bet in general. The read I have with the tapes is there, but like I'm scared we're gonna get robbed. Like I'm just being honest. This one, I'm really scared we do. Shara's the star here. They want him to win, obviously, and like the judging being biased and the ref being biased and that place in the world is just true. We know that at that point, right? I bet Paul huge fucking in PFL last week. The guy was breaking the dude, and he was on his way to win, and he took like 4 minutes to recover after the head clash, and then he basically win the fight. It was like a draw at worst, but like nope, Usman won the fight even with the point deduction. But anyways, go back to this fight. It just to me the way I see is like no striker on Planet Earth is +1 is -200 against him MVP in a striking match. Right, to put it simple, that's the way I see it. Like I know he talked about that in some other podcast, but like he made Kevin Hart and Ian Gary look slow on the feet and look like amateur. Like another thing I want to talk about the volume aspect, right? If you look on paper, MVP is low volume, Shara is then way more volume, right? So that's probably why people like Shara that much because of volume. But name me one person that lend a lot of volume against MVP. You just make these guys freeze, and nobody lend a lot of volume against him because of his style, the way he strike, the way he move, and like he outstrike at distance Kevin Holland 38-18 and 19-9. Ian Gary. Ian Gary, very good striker, super fast. So yeah, Shara's not that good with his ends. Obviously, we know that, right? He's improving to his credit. I think he's getting better, but like he's gonna have success with leg kicks, I imagine here. But outside of that, like I don't see any grappling. But if anyone has grappling upside, it's gonna be MVP. Shara doesn't know how to get up if he gets taken down, and then like MVP can crack the way he fights. It's just so hard to deal against. So I think Shara's gonna have a hard time landing his volume here, and like MVP can absolutely hurt him. Shara has been hurt in some fights, right? Even Petrosian hurt him early. So I think there's a chance that MVP like crack him bad and win a round based on that. And yeah, you could knock him out also and leave the judges out of the equation. Will be great. But realistically, I think it's gonna go the distance and be very close. But I think it should be line -110 apiece. And then yeah, I'm not a fan of the move up in weight class for MVP because with the added muscle, with the added weight, maybe he's not going to be as fast. We don't really know, right? But I think at 37 years old, it might help his chin and it might help his cardio to not cut that weight. And like he's still going to have a 6 inches of reach advantage over Shara here, which is not something Shara is used to against these other guys. So, and he never fought someone that strike like MVP. So I think MVP get it done. I'll say decision, but I think it's going to rock him at some point.
Yeah, I think we cook. I think we cook here. Main event of the evening. It's look right here. It's Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov. Israel Adesanya is 24-4, 35-6'4", 80-inch reach. Nasruddin Imavov is 15-4, 28, 6'3", 75-inch reach. Odds, ladies and gentlemen, you get Izzy anywhere from -150 to -170. You can get Nasruddin Imavov anywhere from +130 to +145. Jeez, he's yelling so bad for camera time. Sup, boys? Pain. All right. Yes, you too, Cody. Main event time. Guys, I also forgot. Like, comment, subscribe. Please support us. That's how we support you. We keep making you guys money. We can't keep doing it for free forever. Pretty soon we're going to go behind a paywall if you guys don't like, comment, subscribe. All right. That being said, this is a y'all must have forgot fight for Izzy, I think. I watched it. I actually taped it once, and then I taped it back. And I was like...
That's a lie.
It is actually a lie. I didn't tape it once. I didn't tape it at all. This is an Izzy fight that he's going to win. Imavov is a gas bag. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking shit. I was big on Imavov. I think I played Imavov ITD as well against Jared Cannonier. I saw the side there. Imavov doesn't have the cardio to wrestle Izzy for 5 rounds. And on the feet, the speed is just going to look way different. It's just going to be a different animal stepping off to the side, stuff like that. The thing you have to worry about with Izzy is, is he done? That's the common narrative right now. Is he done? Is it folded? This, that, and another. People are forgetting, like, Izzy was clipping and beating up. Dricus pretty good in their fight until getting taken down. And if he didn't get taken down and subbed, like, he was looking pretty good on the feet. Imavov does have a little bit longer punches than Dricus does, but I think that Imavov to win will have to grapple Izzy for a long time. I'm not sure he will be able to do that. I don't think his cardio is there yet. He hasn't proved it yet. Like I said, I'm taking Izzy. Am I betting him? Probably not. But my pick of the night is going to be Izzy for this main event. What do you think, Key?
Yeah. I still have a little bit of PTSD from losing the Izzy bet against DDP. I thought that he looked fine in moments. But I think they just gassed. And I know that that's like not something that's been of tendency for Izzy, but I think he did just gas. Even in the Helwani interview recently, he talked about it and just not having enough gas in the tank for the amount of volume that he was putting out in that fight. His boxing looked better. He had added muscle. But I'm not sure how much this guy is fully while I think that he trains hard and everything, I feel like we're not seeing the same Izzy from 2020, 2019 run. Like, we're not seeing that same guy. I think that guy's gone. Imavov is, physical. I bet him pretty big against Allen. I forget if that was a 4-unit bet or not, but I bet him pretty big against Allen. And his physicality is just different. I think he's physical. I know at range, has the nickname the sniper for a reason. I think that his boxing has gotten better over the years. And this isn't me fishing for Imavov bet because I don't have a bet here and I probably won't end up with one. The fan side in me is hoping and praying for Izzy, y'all must have forgot type of performance. But I don't think that guy's coming back, man. I really don't. And even the Poatan fight, I bet Izzy. I bet the under in their first fight and that cashed. And then I bet Izzy in their second fight, and that cashed. And I gotta say, like, even in that fight, that wasn't like he was cooking or anything before the KO. I mean, that leg was on its way to being completely dead. And the Poatan was opening up for a reason. He was finding a shit ton of success. And as he found the shot, played possum and found the shot, and great on him. And I'm glad to have cashed that. But I'm not going to sit here and act like that was some clean performance that he just cooked Pereira. He caught him and, knocked him out. But it's not, that's what, 4 performances in a row. And when can we say that we've seen like a classic Izzy performance? Like, when was the last time that we've just seen Izzy just show complete levels and like just completely dominate? Even in fights where he's been like had a wide advantage, the Cannonier fight, wide advantage, and just sort of never opened up and was cool just winning a 5-round decision in that fight. So I know that Izzy is, he's going to go down as a legend, instant Hall of Famer, real time, like real deal legacy. And I'm thankful to have been able to see the run that he's had. But I don't think that same guy's here anymore. I think that Imavov is going to come and give this a competitive fight. He's been catching his second wind in fights recently, which is just the weirdest shit to watch in real time because he'll look dead and have terrible body language for a second and then just magically catches his second win. So maybe that pops up here, but it's not like Izzy's going to push some crazy pace. I see people angling for the Izzy round 4, round 5 KOs. Izzy doesn't press some crazy pace. Like, he's not going to open up and have this be a dog fight. So this will be a fun fight. I hope to not see a legend go out sad. So for the show's sake of it, I pick Izzy to win, but I have no bet here.
Job. I don't have a strong read either. I think Izzy, but I like the over better than picking a side. I think the fight's going to go over. Yeah, if Izzy win, it's going to be a decision. I rate Imavov chin. I think he's very durable. And yeah, I don't really think Imavov is going to have an easy time grappling easy. And if you try to grapple and it doesn't submit him easily, then he's not going to be able to grapple and just mix up the takedowns for a long period of time. He's going to slow down if he does that. On the feet, he can have his success, obviously. He's the younger guy, he hit hard, he's fast, career trajectory is on his side. Easy is declining, getting older, been there, done that. So it's Imavov time now. So I understand people betting Imavov, but I also understand people betting Easy because it could be a level fight. So I've been high on Imavov. He's my guy. I back him in a lot of his UFC fights. But I have a feeling that Easy's going to win the decision here, outpointing him over 25 minutes. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure. But I think Easy's the better striker of the two. He's the longer guy. He's more technical. The leg kick's going to be there. And, the price coming down. Like I said, I understand Imavov bet. He has grappling upside, maybe even more finishing upside. He's younger. Career trajectory is there, but I don't really trust his cardio in 25 minutes fights. Like you said, it's weird because he's second wins in fight, but I fade Easy at plus money against DDP last time out, but DDP, just the way he fights, he make people tired, he make people fight his fight, and I thought Easy looked good in that fight, to be honest. He looked a bit slower, the reaction time is not as good anymore, so maybe Imavov is going to catch him, but yeah, I think someone's going to win a close decision, and I'll lean toward Easy.
All right. That's the show, guys. I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus. PTO parlay time. Let's do comments first. Imavov, favorite pick of the week from Champs Bet. Yeah, I know. I was taping this fucking fight. Give me a break. Izzy doesn't do things that you need to do to exploit the holes in Imavov's game. Well, who knows? Imavov and MVP. To be fair, Imavov's cardio in the past few fights when he's been gassing, the guys have looked even more tired than Imavov has. Yeah, bro, that ain't Izzy, though. Trust me. He's going to stunt on this fool. He's going to send him back.
How many units, Peg?
Huh?
How many units on Izzy?
I don't have any units on Izzy right now. Could I get to there? Possibly. Because, again, we have a certain type of guy fighting a French dude. Right? And here we go. We know how the narrative goes. Brian Battle has painted us the perfect game plan on how that works. Although Izzy's kind of a pussy too, so can't really count that towards anything. Sean Strickland versus Imavov. Now we're talking. That being said,
all right, I already cooked a BTL parlay. You guys want to hear it? Let me know what you think.
Sure.
Under 1.5 for McKinney.
Okay.
Naimov money line.
Okay.
And then we either go crazy and we put MBS in the lay, or we can go a bit safer and pick I don't know.
I want Loke Dog.
Or we can pick Loke, but it's plus 132 now. It's not, not as good.
Dude, who cares? Just pick winners.
All right. So what you guys think? Yeah, I'll let you decide.
Take it. I like that. So the parlay is the under of 1.5 for McKinney and Hadžović. It is Luck Dog plus 132, and it is Muhammad Naimov minus 350 or whatever it is.
335.
And what is that? What odds does that get us at parlay?
It's plus 322.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus. Thanks for joining us. We're getting out of here in under an hour and a half. It's a miracle. I don't know how we made 11 fights take this long, but it's because we're going to make you money. Don't forget, Yair Rozenstruik, champion of the world. He will be he will be the main event for UFC Mexico City someday. I promise you. He'll be the biggest, blackest Mexican you've ever seen. It'll be amazing.
Okay, that's enough. Yes,
I'm your host, Picks by Pegasus. Telegram in the bio below. Drov's new link's going to be in the bio below. Keys Dub Club's in the bio below. Screenshot them. You subscribe to our channel. Send it to them. They'll give you a month for free. Anything you guys have to add?
We out. Best of luck this week, guys. It's Underdogs, please.
We're going to join you guys. Peace.